Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our chant class this morning here in Go Forest. Anyone has any questions, any comments? Okay. Meditation, fundamentally, chant is a very, very powerful form of meditation, Buddhist meditation. Actually is very, very powerful, very effective, because it produces results for you. Okay, whatever that problems that you have that's troubling you, through meditation, you'll be able to eventually resolve most of them. Okay, how does that work? The process is fundamentally to learn, you developing skills to look at yourself. Okay, because in our for most of our training, we learn to look outside, and so therefore we excel at looking at problems on the outside. But your happiness, your well-being depends primarily on how well you're able to look inside and face your own problems. Okay? Looking outside is easy for the ordinary people because that's what we train to do. However, looking inside is very, very difficult. Okay, and that's why what the nature of wisdom is. Wisdom is to learn to look inside and not outside. Why is that? Because when you look inside, actually you're able to see the outside so much better. You attain insights about the outside that you cannot have. If the ordinary people, they look outside and they depend on their thinking mind to dissect it, to analyze it. Okay, that's linear thinking. Whereas Buddhist wisdom, when you look inside, okay, actually, when you look inside, you are looking at the reflection or your reactions to the problems outside facing us. Okay, and therefore, therein lies the more advantageous insight you can attain from looking inside. So that's why the Chinese wisdom, the fundamental Buddhist wisdom, Chan wisdom, is to return the light and illuminate yourself. Okay, that's a fundamental process. When you have a problem, okay, ordinary people again look outside, and naturally they will put the blame on others. That's the nature of the lack of wisdom. You always blame others. Okay? It's someone else's fault. It's a dog's fault because it barks at us. Yeah? So that in that process right there, naturally we are more inclined to blame others for any problems we have. Okay? So you neglect to address our own problems. Okay? In contrast, this Chan training here, the Chan skill you're developing is to help you look whenever you have a problem. Let's say you're stressed out, or you feel depressed, or you feel nervous. Okay? So you learn to develop a skill to say, let's say, use your meditation to, let's say, follow your breathing That's looking inside right there. Okay? Count your breath is looking inside. Or we teach you to look at your navel, concentrate, put your mind in your navel, that's looking inside. Okay? That's a very simple process, but that's a fundamental part of meditation. Okay? At first it sounds kind of unnatural. It seems unnatural for you. And then actually, in order to speed up that skill to look inside, we teach you to cross your legs. And it complicates it more for you because it's more challenging to cross your legs because it's not a natural thing. Just as much as looking inside is not natural for us at all. Okay? So that's why for many people, they struggle a little bit initially. Some a lot. But once you get a hang of it, okay, if you have some real big afflictions that you tried everything else, you tried psychotherapy, you tried meds, you tried drugs, okay, you tried all sorts of things out there, okay, and they work temporarily. For example, depression, you can go see a therapist and you get some relief from the therapy temporarily, but then it comes back. Okay, and same thing. You have, for example, acid reflux. You have digestion issues. Okay, typically, ordinary people. Normally, people would take some meds, Pepto-Bismol, okay, or whatever, okay, and it goes away temporarily. But what happens is that you fail to fix the real source of the problem of your indigestion or your acid reflux. Okay, and whereas if you have an acid reflux or you are nervous, you're anxious, okay, you go back to your skills, your skill set, look inside, okay, and in that process there, you eventually will be able to resolve the issues naturally yourself. Okay? And eventually it goes much further than that. Much further. To the point where, for example, if you have depression, I had depression, had severe depression. Life was so, I've been morose most of my adult life, and you give it to others close to you, okay, and you take it out on others. And it's not until I learned meditation I began to see the nature of my depression, and through meditation my skills developed so I can see how I get depressed, okay, and as my skills developed, the depression got lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter until the more you advance your skills, the shorter your length of depression. So, for example, for me, my depression now typically lasts for split seconds normally. In some severe cases, it lasts maybe a few minutes, because now I'm a lot more aware. Okay, as soon as I'm depressed, I say, my body becomes aware of it, my mind becomes aware of it, so I immediately can fix it before it snowballs. This is what happens to us. When the nature of depression, for example, is that it snowballs. When it gets bigger and bigger, it's much harder and takes a lot longer to undo it. Questions? 5.
Thank you, Master. You have a question here from YouTube. Jane Clymer asks, Master, you asked us not to move while sitting. I noticed that I was gradually leaning forward. Then I straightened myself. How do I avoid such moves? Thank you.
It's all natural evolution of your skill development. You naturally, move and fidget a little bit. And so what you do is, if you're aware of that pattern, okay, you're aware that you want to fidget, let's say your legs are numb, okay? It happens to all of us. It doesn't matter, it happens to me too. Occasionally, because of the way I cross my legs will grow numb, okay? So natural tendency for me is to wiggle my toes and move a little, okay? And maybe pull it out a little bit to release the pressure right there, okay? Instead of doing that, you learn, you recognize, oh, oops, I just messed up. So next time, okay, you don't pull it out, you don't move, you don't fidget anymore. That's all. Okay, it's a ongoing process. Okay? You will fidget, I do fidget, but then if it becomes a pattern, that's when you develop the resistance to it. Okay, same thing. In her case, she leans forward. That's could be a few potential factors. It doesn't matter. If you're aware of this tendency to lean forward intentionally, okay, that's the analogy. If you are intentionally leaning forward because of tension, because whatever, very much like when I tend to fidget because my legs are numb, okay, and then you know, because it's intentional, you resist that. That's what you're doing. If it's involuntary, there's not a whole lot you can do. I hope it helps. Okay? Anyone else? Okay. Yes, 4. You learn the Chan meditation here is you learn to resist thinking. Yes, 4. Because when I decide to fidget, my mind has this, let's move my leg. Okay? That's a thought right there. And when a thought arises, you don't do anything. Okay? If you fidget, then you are actually failed already, the test. Yes, 4.
Thank you, Master. Talking about looking outside and looking inside. So I feel now compared to looking outside to looking others' faults, I spend more time to look inside. So the speed is different. So why is it? Is about my level too low, or it's natural thing? Thank you, Master.
Could you be more specific? For example, before and for example now, what's the difference?
So when I hang out with friends, when they talking about the issue in the life, I think I can find the problem very fast, but compare my own issue is to spend more time. I can figure out why it's happened and what should I do.
Okay, very good. Okay, it's because different types of problems. Okay, if you look at someone else is a problem, but this person has a low level of samadhi than you. Her mind is more scattered than you. The mind moves a lot more easily than you. And therefore, when you look at their problems, when they describe their problems, they say, because you move your mind. When someone insults you, you get afflicted. Someone praises you, you get afflicted. So in chant parlance, it means your mind moves. Okay? Because of others. So you see it immediately. Okay? Whereas when you look at yourself, when you realize that you're afflicted, you may not necessarily be able to see what caused it. So that's why the skill set you're developing is that even though you cannot see the source of your agitation, of your affliction, but the skill you're developing is what? Is by crossing your legs, even though you're agitated, okay, you don't pick up some meds and take it. You don't pick up a glass of wine to drink it, okay? You don't get up and run away from it by jogging. Instead, what you do, this is so fundamental. When you're agitated, you're nervous, you're anxious, you cross your legs, okay? And that will help you calm down naturally a lot faster than otherwise. So even though you don't need to see, you cannot see the cause of your agitation, what you need to do first is to calm down, okay? By meditation, through meditation you calm down. Then, when your mind is less afflicted, you begin to see it clearer. When your mind is so afflicted, you cannot see that clearly because your affliction is too strong for you. Whereas someone else who is afflicted, you can see them faster because they get afflicted a lot easier than you. So therefore you can spot it. You can see the cause much quicker. Does it help? So that's why a person who has a high level of chant skills, okay, they can see other people's problems a lot faster, a lot more clearly than their own. That's a natural process. Okay? And conversely speaking, let's say if you're here at this level of concentration, okay, someone, let's say, comes to insult you, okay, you get afflicted right away, okay? If your level is here, with the same insults from the same person, okay, you will not get afflicted at all. That's why you can see this person getting afflicted by this, but because it doesn't afflict you. Does it help? This is actually very practical, but you can't brag about it. Okay, it's not for sale. It's only for yourself. Okay, for your well-being. All right? Anything else? So this is a skill. Again, I thank you for asking the question. Sometimes we are overwhelmed by our own affliction. We're just too afflicted. Okay? And so what you do is cross your legs so that you calm yourself down. That's the first thing you do before you take any actions. If you calm yourself down, you, number one, have less chances of causing problems for others and therefore for yourself. Okay? Number two, when you're less afflicted, you can see more clearly what caused your affliction. Because when you're too afflicted, you can't see it. Forget it. You need to calm down. Okay? So this chant skill here, crossing your legs, going to the meditation helps you calm down so much faster than otherwise. And it's a lot more. And when you get a little bit higher, you see that, for example, at a low level, you see one-to-one. You say, oh, I'm afflicted because I like it. I don't like it when someone criticizes me. Anyone? Okay? You can see that one-to-one. And this person, particularly this person at work, likes to criticize me. Okay? I don't like it at all. I don't like him. I don't like her at all. Okay? You see one-to-one. Okay? But actually, when you get higher, okay, then you can see the cause, a deeper cause of your reaction. Okay? Meaning that you realize that it's not about that person. It's not about being criticized, but actually you are actually more insecure. It's not the criticism that you don't feel that secure about yourself, about your life. So my point is that at a low level, quite often you only see one-to-one. One cause, the one cause your affliction. You get up here a little bit higher, quite a bit higher, you see a cause for so many more afflictions. So that now up here, you fix one problem, actually it fixes a host of issues. Okay? All right, any other questions? And it takes time, folks. Don't think that it's a quick fix for you. If you really have something that bothers you, that you need to fix in your life, okay? Namely, for example, stress. Okay? Life is increasingly more stressful, not less stressful at all. Okay? Issues like that, that's a problem. Therefore, it can become the motivation for you to develop meditation skills to fix it yourself. Okay? Another problem, another example. It's not about mental, but let's say you have physical issues. I talk to you about very simple things, like when you meditate, your chi, okay, it builds up. Your chi builds up in your navel, in your belly area, okay? Right there, because you, for example, I don't know what they teach you here, but when I used to teach a beginner's class, I would teach them to focus. Simply take a pinky here, stick it in your navel, and feel it, and put your attention there, okay? Park your mind there at your navel, that's all. If you think, you go back and stop thinking and think about your navel, that's it. And then you said, okay, what about for lunch? I smell something, it smells good. Sounds like Asian food, okay? And that's distraction. You realize you're being distracted. You go back, put your mind back to your navel. That's all you do, okay? How about when you are crossing your legs and the legs feel numb and become uncomfortable? And what do? You say, I don't like this. Why am I doing this? Okay? What is that? That's called a distraction. Okay? You drop that, you go back to your navel. You don't care. It says, your mind says, it hurts. What is that? Another distraction. You ignore it, you think about your navel. You keep on going back to your navel. That's your first skill set you need to develop. Okay? Focus your mind. You drop everything else and bring your focus back to your navel. Okay? That's a very simple skill right there. You develop that ability to bring your mind back. No matter what happens, you go focus back to your navel. When you do that, your concentration to your navel becomes more sustained. So far, so good. That's a process. That's what I had to do when I first started by myself. Okay, and I found out that it helped regulate the digestion a lot better than before. And later, I met a research professor at Cal State Long Beach, and she's from India. And she said her department was conducting a study of full lotus posture and the effect it has. And she found out that it helped increase digestion. Just crossing your legs improve your digestion. Okay? So that's why similarly, if you have indigestion, okay, instead of taking some pills or go to your pharmacist and buy something and take it, I still have to this. I had this Pepto-Bismol bottle, pink bottle, at my house for a long, long time. Okay, and every time I had indigestion, I would resist the temptation to take it, and instead I crossed my legs, and it won't be long before it goes away. Okay, and then what also piqued my interest was that I started meditating more regularly every day. Okay, because I said, wow, if he can regulate my indigestion, my acid reflux, it must be doing a lot of good things, other things inside my body. So I started believing. So I started practicing every day, meditating every day, like we recommend to you. And one day I went to a park with one of my nephews, and he started complaining about acid reflux. He said, I'm not feeling good. My stomach hurts. So we're in the park. There's no medication available there. So I said, why would you like to learn how to deal with it yourself right now? And so I taught him to focus on his navel. Okay, stick a pinky there and focus on navel. And then he said, okay, yeah, sure, if there's nothing else for me to do. So that since we didn't want to leave the park, so he stuck his pinky there and started meditating. And what did I do? I sat next to him and myself focus on his navel for him. Instead of my navel, I focus on his navel. Okay? For him. So the two of us were focusing on his navel. And the acid reflux went away within 5 minutes. It's so cool. I said, wow, I can really help people. Because you know what happened? I didn't understand the process back then. But the process is that when you concentrate on that, okay, the chi flows and it fixes the irregularities of your chi flows. When you have acid reflux because your chi is not flowing properly. So by focusing on your navel, it regulates it. So far so good? Well, that's you. How could I help him? I didn't understand it back then. I thought it's some kind of magic. I was so cool or something. Actually, it's not. Very simple. I sat next to him. And I focused myself Didn't matter. I didn't know. I thought I would focus on his navel to help him. Actually, it didn't really help him that much. If I were to focus on my own navel, it would be a lot more helpful. I didn't know it. Okay? Because if had I focused on my own navel, my concentration would be a little bit stronger. And when you sit next to someone who has a stronger concentration than you, it helps you concentrate better. So that's why when you come to the temple and you sit and you meditate next to someone who's more skilled than you, like the instructors we have here, your meditation is a lot more effective than it were the case you sat by yourself. That's why we send instructors like Sangwok Sunim there. Yes, it is not, sometimes I have a hard time understanding her, but if you get patiently wait for the point where she sits and you sit with her, all of a sudden your concentration is so much stronger, multiple times. So by my sheer ignorance, I focus on his navel for him. Well, actually, I could have simply focused on my own navel by sitting next to him. It would have helped him already. And it went away within minutes. And he was impressed. He said, wow, I can do this for myself? All right? So that's why it's not just mental things I talk to you about. It's actually your chi, as your concentration increases, your chi, that life energy there that flows through your entire body, it usually takes about 2 hours to 2.5 hours for the chi to flow through your entire body. It cycles through. Okay, it starts first at your navel, it builds up. It's like a battery, it charges up your battery, and then it starts flowing through your body. Okay, it has the Eastern medicine call it meridians. Anyone? The channel of chi that flows through your body. Okay, so it has these channels where it flows through. So at first, it focuses on your navel right there. Your digestion is help, your stomach is help, and then moves up, okay, to your lungs area. Okay, so if you're a smoker, okay, you have lung issues, will be fixed next, and to your throat, and to your sinuses. If you have a cold, okay, that's where they build up in your throat here, okay, and your sinuses. When your cold get more entrenched, then it builds up in your sinuses area, okay, and that's when you go up, and that's why meditation actually helps you address some of your physical ailments, okay, and you can imagine at much more advanced levels, we're able to fix a lot of physical issues ourselves. I don't mean to brag to you, but I haven't seen a doctor in 20 years. Every time I have a cold, I meditate. Okay? Your chi, sicknesses are caused by chi blockages. And when you meditate, your chi flows stronger and stronger and stronger, and will unblock these blockages. And that's how you heal yourself. So far, so good? Okay? So these are real benefits, folks. If you give yourselves a chance to do it longer and develop your skills, it's well worth it. Trust me. Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. You have a question from Dang Wen.
Yes.
Good morning, Master. What is the state of our minds when we are sleeping? Is there a reason why the Sangha is trained to sit sleep? Recently, I kept feeling anxious before sleeping at night. I would sleep better if I sit before sleeping. I have been doing an experiment for a week. When I just wake up, I recite Great Compassion Mantra, but I could never recite past 20 lines, while I have no issue reciting when I'm fully awake.
So
Thank you.
he recited a Great Compassion Mantra before sleeping or after he got up?
It says when I just wake up, so after.
And he had no problems reciting it when?
I have no issue when reciting when I'm fully awake.
Oh, when you're fully awake. Okay. Then because the mind is still sleepy, that's why he has a problem concentrating on the recitation. Your mind is not, you're not quite operational, fully operational yet. What was his question?
I think he just wants, he wants to know, what is the state of our minds when we are sleeping?
Okay. When you're sleeping, your thinking mind functioning is greatly reduced. This is how your body repairs itself. Right? We all know that, right? How does it work? We all know that supposedly, according to our doctors, that when we sleep, there's a body repairs that's going on. How does it actually work, do you think? How is it repaired? No one ever asked our doctors that, right? I'm asking you now. Go back and ask your doctor, how does it work? Or submit it on a question online. How does that work? Why does it only repair when you're sleeping and not when you're awake? Then the next obvious question is, can you repair it while you are awake? So it's helpful to find out how it repairs itself when we're sleeping. Doesn't it? These are fundamental questions that we don't ask ourselves. To anyone, Master, the two abbots there at DTT, when people say, when your doctors say that your body repairs itself when you sleep, how does that work? How is it possible?
I think because your thinking mind that didn't work much at that time, so that's when the body had the chance to fix itself. So also when you are awake, so when you meditate and your thinking mind, you think less, and then the body has a chance to fix itself too.
Okay. 95%. There's one more. There's some more. Anyone else? How does it repair itself? It's established by the medical profession that when we sleep, there's a lot of repair work that's going on inside our body. It's very good for us. Yes, Wei Mao. But they never explain to us why.
Hello, Master.
Yes.
I think when you sleep, so that moment you don't thinking. And then when you don't thinking, that mind, they can like fix your mind.
Okay, very good. Same 95%. Anyone else?
That's my thinking.
Okay, very good. Okay, let me spell it out for you. The reason that it repairs itself when you're sleeping is because your thinking mind decreases. It's less and less active. They call it whatever, deeper sleep, whatever. Okay, and that's why the doctors are saying that it's very important for you to see how deep your level of deep sleep, how long it is, and so forth, right? The deeper the sleep is better for you. Yes, you wake up, feel refreshed and re-energized. Yeah, because basically, deeper sleep means that your mind shuts down. So far, so good. No thinking mind. The mind stops thinking. Unlike you right now, you're all thinking, what is he talking about? I wonder what he's talking about. I wonder what he knows what he's talking about. Is there any medical proof for this? Yeah? Some of you, scientific people, okay? So, because you're thinking, you're processing, right? Whereas when you're sleeping, in that deep sleep period, your mind, your thinking mind actually comes to the stop, okay? And when your mind stops thinking, what did I tell you earlier? When we teach you to focus, put your focus on your navel. Very simple, that process right there. When you find yourself thinking when you're meditating, stop thinking. Go back in your navel. Just think of one thought in the navel. So far, so good. That's it. That's why. The skill you're developing is when you are sitting there and your legs are complaining, I say, I don't like this. That's thinking. So far, so good. Or in other words, that's whining. Okay? Stop it. Go back to your navel. That's all you do. Okay? That's a skill you're developing. When you do that, okay, you're increasing your focus. Your mind is more focused. So far, so good. Focusing meaning that your mind is not functioning. It stops thinking. You only think one thought. If you have two thoughts, then the focus is not there. But when your focus is increased, your chi flow increases. It becomes stronger. That's how the repair occurs. Your repair is that your body is broken up because the chi is being blocked. The flow is being blocked in your heart, in your lungs, in your stomach. Okay? It's being blocked, it's not flowing properly. When you focus, you increase your focus on anything, the navel, your nose, your eyes, your ears, it doesn't matter at all. Okay? We only, for the sake of simplicity, tell you to focus on your navel so that you can do it while you're Catholic, you're Buddhist, you're Mormon, doesn't matter at all. Okay? But when you focus like that, your chi flows stronger, and therefore it can unblock more the blockages. That's what the medical professionals call cell repairs. Is that clear to you now? Why it's so beneficial, the meditation? This is why it's critical that when you meditate, you need to be very clear about it. Meditation, the purpose of meditation is to increase your concentration. Then magic happens inside your body, inside your mind. It's that simple. Okay? And the results will speak for themselves. If you only allow yourself a chance to let it happen, instead of having to wait for you to fall asleep to see the magic of the body repairs. You can repair your body while you're meditating. Right then. You don't need to sleep. That's why the advanced meditators, they don't need to sleep that much. Okay? My teacher, he sleeps, he taught us to sleep 2 hours a night. That's all you need to do. The medical professionals, they say you need to sleep between 6 and 8 hours, maybe longer, and so forth. But actually, if you meditate at night, it helps you repair your body a lot faster. So that's one of the reasons why we teach our people to sit sleep when we cross our legs and allow ourselves to fall asleep naturally. Okay? We will naturally fall asleep. Okay? And if you do that, you even can sleep even less than 2 hours. And you have full body repairs. Okay? But the main reason for us professionals, the monks and nuns, to be taught and to be encouraged to sit sleep is it will help us rein in the desires, especially sexual desires. Okay? Sexual desires are the most distracting things in our mind. So for some of us, for quite a few of us, because of our diet, when it's too rich, it encourages sexual desire. Okay? And among many other factors. So for us professionals, we are in our field, in our side, some of us, like this monk here, I decided to let him go. Had a lot of desires, so he was taught to sit sleep, and it helped him a lot. It helped him tremendously. Okay? And so that's why for us professionals, sit sleeping is primarily designed to help us rein in those desires, which are a real source of distraction for our lifestyle, for our pursuits. Okay? Any other questions? Okay? And so, finally, the higher level of concentration. So in Chan, we can measure concentration because it has gradations. For most people, regular people, like many of you who are just new to meditation, you are scattered, so you are zero concentration. You jump from one thought to the next, to the next, to the next. Okay? That's being scattered. When you learn meditation within a short order, usually with us, within weeks, days, weeks, or months, you'll be able to enter first dhyana, which is the first level of concentration, where you're able to empty your mind. Okay? No more thoughts, supposedly. Because you have so many thoughts in your head, for that to happen, it seems to you like you have no thoughts. But actually, what happens is that, more accurately, is that your mind is free from certain types of thoughts. Okay? And that's why it feels like your mind is empty, but actually it's not. You still have thoughts, but they're so minute that you can't see them. Okay? So the first level is first dhyana there. When you reach that level, okay, you will see a burst of energy. The chi flow is so strong. Okay? That you have more stamina, and you have this burst of energy. And it will stabilize after you reach first dhyana. The first moment you reach the first dhyana there, you have a burst of energy, so it's kind of cool for you. Okay? And then it will stabilize. You don't see it as much of a change anymore. Okay? When you meditate. eventually, within days, within weeks. And after that, you go to second dhyana. Similarly, you have an experience of burst of energy, and your chi flows stronger and so forth. So every time, it flows stronger and stronger and stronger. So some real measurable levels of concentration for us professionals, we can tell. Yes, question here, 5.
Thank you, Master. There's a couple. One is a comment and the other one is a question. Nacho says, question from Natalia from the Spanish channel, Amitabha Master. It's in regards to when you said sitting near someone with a higher samadhi level. She says, that's why in Spain we need more Chan monks and nuns to visit us so we can meditate better with them nearby. Thank you.
Yes, it's true. By the way, the reason why it's worthwhile for you to make the trip and to the temple, or for us to go to Spain to do it with you, is that it helps you enter that state of concentration, and once you're there, you can get back to it a lot easily by yourself. Okay? But because your mind doesn't know it yet, when you meditate by yourself, you struggle. So the objective of part of our help for you is that we sit with you so that it helps you concentrate better. So next time around by yourself, you're able to do that a lot more easily because you've been there before. Your mind recognizes the landscape. So far, so good? So yes, absolutely. It helps to sit with someone who has a higher level of concentration. Even if you have more blessings, to someone who is tremendously skilled in chant, you get a lot more benefits than you realize. Yes, second question.
It's from Zihong Zhao. Master, how did you notice your depression and handle it? Is it a thought arising, such as, I don't want to live? Then you realize it's depression and tell yourself not to think about it any further? Thank you.
For me personally, I was really never officially diagnosed as having depression. All I know is that for my entire life, before I learned meditation, I find it very hard to find joy in life. And whenever something happens, I usually tend to look at the negative side of things. It's natural for me, okay? And the frequency of that happening and the duration of how long you stay there, okay, was very severe for me. It would last for hours, days, weeks, okay? So the process for me personally is that when I was meditating, I was never doing it for the purpose of dealing with my depression. So I didn't know, okay? Honestly, I didn't know. I simply meditated and meditated. The more I meditated daily, the better I felt. There were days, for example, when I made a breakthrough after sitting for several hours, okay? I made a breakthrough by myself, okay? And that euphoria, that good feeling would last for 10 hours, 12 hours. So I said, wow, I invested 8 hours of my miserable life feeling bad, okay? And then by sitting there for 8 hours, I will feel good for 12 hours. Darn good return on investment. So that's why I started to sit longer and longer and longer, and occasionally I would improve jump to the next level of concentration. I would sit longer, I would jump the next level, okay? And when you do that, depression itself has different types of depression thoughts at different levels, so that naturally, when I improved, my depression was lessened. Okay? That's what happened to me personally. When you get up there, then now, when you get up to the advanced levels, then you begin to see how your thoughts arise, and you drop them off right away. As soon as a thought arises, cut it off, nip it right off at the butt, at the bud. Okay, and so I developed that skill to nip it off. Any thought that would arise at a more advanced level, you nip it off. Okay, so whether it's depression thoughts, whether it's thought of mania, it didn't matter. Any thought, I would nip them off, and I'll go next level, next level. Okay, and so that's how I eventually were able to rise above a lot of thoughts of depression through meditation. Okay, and then I started teaching Chan meditation. I met people like my disciples who were very depressed. And then I began to see, I was like that too. And that's when looking back at my own personal history, I realized I had severe depression. After helping a lot of people rise above it, and that's why I had the confidence of reassuring my students that, especially the ones with depression, is that, don't worry, you stick with this. I went through this myself. You'll feel better like I do right now. Okay? You can live a normal life. Okay? Actually, happier life. And it happened to them as well. That's why we understand more and more about bipolar thoughts, how to deal with them, without any need for therapy, without any need for medications. Okay? Okay, yes, last question.
Thank you, Master. I have a comment about the sleeping and the concentration. My husband normally he needs to have 2 naps every day. One is after lunch, one is after dinner. So I don't understand that before, but now I can understand because he cannot reduce his thoughts and cannot gain the energy, the qi, so he needs sleep to reduce the thoughts. Yes. And got focus on his work. Yeah.
Yes, not just that, but when you eat, this is what happens to a lot of people. When you eat, and let's say you eat, normal people eat meat, and meat is very difficult to digest. It's much harder to digest meat and fish than you were to digest vegetables. Okay, vegetarian stuff. So when you eat, I imagine your husband is not vegetarian, and he likes to eat meat, yes, and fish, and regular dishes. So he thinks a lot. Your husband likes to think. He's an intellectual. He thinks he believes that he can fix and figure out everything. Okay, and so his excessive thinking right there all day long weakens his digestive system. When you think a lot, people who think a lot, they tend to have digestion issues. They're very weak because they draw all the qi up to their heads. So there's very little left in your stomach area. Therefore, your digestive system suffers. This is what most people don't realize. Professors, they are notoriously known for having digestive issues because they're always thinking up here. They have very weak stomachs, by the way. Okay? And so your husband is not at that level yet, that obsession level yet, but his digestive system is weakened so that he needs to digest this meat here, this food here, okay, which is a big challenge for him when the stomach is full than before. And since he does not meditate, his natural tendency is to sleep, to stop thinking, to help the digestion. That's what happens. This is a good thing for him. Okay? He's very lucky. Yes, ma'am. 2.
Thank you, Master. Is it the same for autoimmune diseases?
What disease?
Autoimmune. So,
Autoimmune
yeah.
disease?
Yeah.
That's similar. It can be addressed as well. Absolutely. Okay? But at that level, to be honest with you, is much more advanced than digestion. Because digestion, remember, the qi builds up in your navel, your stomach area first. Autoimmune is much more broader of a context. Therefore, the qi has to flow a lot stronger in a sustained fashion. So, but yes, you can fix it in theory, but you need to be skilled enough. Okay? My master, for example, my Chinese teacher, Master Hsuan, he's diabetic. And for diabetic people, people who have diabetes, they need to take insulin to digest the sugar, right? He doesn't take any insulin his entire life. So he meditates and his qi will break down the sugar for him. Because as soon as he meditates, the qi flows, and wherever the sugar is stuck there, they digest it. They eat it up. They break it up. Okay? So yes, absolutely. Autoimmune system, it's for us, it's not a problem at all. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone, and let's go have some lunch.